Okay guys, back to working on this. The belts are on the upper shaft here. The clean grain auger, or the unloading auger belt is on, it's tight. The two belts that drives the counter shaft are on and tight. More than likely they will have to be both adjusted at some point when I get to running it. The traction drive belt is on and the hydraulic pump is bolted back up. Still got to tighten the bolts. Clutch, well, I had to take the clutch cable off. And it's just a 7/8 nut on the back side, inside that hole right there. You take that nut loose, then there is a pin with a Carter pin key, whoops, right there, that goes through that. Take that out, then you can pull the clutch cable out of that housing, and you can take that off and the belt off. Right now, I am trying to figure out how to, I've got the pin out up here, I got the lines loose, trying to figure out how to pick it up so I can take the pin out of that ram, so I can let this drop down to where I can get this past here. And right now I'm kind of struggling, because we're just, you're talking in half an inch it hits here, but I'm struggling at the moment to figure out how I'm going to pick that up, because you're talking about 200 pounds there hanging. How to get it up safely to get it off. And I'm not coming up with many ideas, because there's really not much up there to get a hold of to pull from, say rope or chain wise. So got a feeling I'm going to have to think about this one a bit. So let me dwell upon this for a few minutes and we'll be back with a solution. Hang on, we'll be right back. Well, a solution presented itself. Laid the 2x4 back here. Got it under the edge of the pulley, walked it up on there. Took the pressure off the pin, which let the cylinder go back, and now it's resting on these chains. Woohoo! Now, to bring that other pulley over and hopefully get it put on, so I can reverse this order and get this thing put back together. So we'll be back here in a few minutes, guys. I'm going to take a breather. That pulley tab right there is kind of on the heavy side, if you know what I mean. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay guys, I've got the belt on the upper pulley. I've got a blue towel between this hub and this pulley, or belt. And now I've prelued the half I'm going to put on one side. Really heavy. And I hope I can do this in one shot. Just come on. Okay. Halfway on. Now, that will wear you out. I am here to tell you it'll wear you out. Now I've got to get it back up before I push this on any farther. I've got to put the felt gasket or felt whatever inside and then lube this side up before I slide it all the way on. But I need to have it up, back up, in order to do that. So this will go around this hub and vice versa. So I don't know exactly how this is going to work, so we'll be back here in just a moment. Let me get this up in the air so I can get the pin back in. So hang on. Well, it went on that way. Came off that way, so it can go on that way. So pull my rickety stack of boards here down and blocks and such. And now, as I say, it's on there. And the pin is now in it. Now, ow. Alright. Now's where it gets kind of interesting, because I got to figure out how exactly this felt washer is supposed to go in here and get it in without absolutely destroying it. So I'm going to get my book out and see what it has to say about installing said washer or felt. I got a pretty good idea how it goes on. And if it's the way I am thinking, it's going to be a monumental mother to get it to go in there and stay put. Now, the funny thing is, that's it. And I'm pretty sure it just simply goes in that center section like so. But it doesn't. I'm going to have to get the book out, see what it says. So hang on guys, we'll be right back. You know how you get all excited that everything's going right and you're about to get, get her whipped? After getting the lines put back on, the pin back in, Carter key back on it, I just realized this belt goes on the outside. So guess I'm taking it apart again. I'm already wore out. Means I got to take all this loose again, get the 2x4 back up under it, get it up, get it down, then take the pulley half back off, take the belt off, because it goes on the outside, not the inside. Means I have to get the other new traction drive belt out, to be put out here. So yeah, I think I'm going to tackle that tomorrow. It's I'm telling you, I just had one of those moments, you know, like, really? Are we getting that dumb? Apparently I am. So that's going to sit like it is tonight. Had to tighten the wheel bearings up, or their wheel bearings is basically what it is. That center hub was loose, so I tightened them up. It feels like a Monday. I'm telling you, this feels like a daggone Monday. Got a million things on my mind, and just not here right at the moment. Oh, guys, I'm going to call it a day. This is, I really can't believe I just did this moment. But I did. Oh, shoot. Okay, guys. We'll see you next time. It's time to call it a day. We'll see you next time. Okay, guys. Kind of the next day. And I ran out of battery, so I couldn't film this. But I've got this center section back on, and the belt's in the correct position now. I had adjusted this pulley as far forward as I could get it to go. Bottom loose is belt, top belt is loose. The belt is shoved all the way in. This outside one's all the way down. The back one is all the way out. When you take one of these apart, there's one very important thing to be concerned with. There is a grease zerk right here, right between two of these lugs. There is a corresponding hole in this counter shaft or hub assembly that it has to line up with in order to get grease to this center pulley. This grease zerk greases the two bearings, which are basically wheel bearings, on the front side and the back. That's what it's for. This zerk is for the center pulley, center half of the pulley, so it can get grease in there to slide. I've got all the hydraulic lines down here hooked up. I've got the pin and the Carter key back in, and now basically it is going to be kind of a trick to get this belt adjusted, because I'm going to have to tighten it up some and then go crank the engine over so the belts become loose again. Adjust it some more and keep doing that until the book says 1/8 of an inch between the pulley halves when the belt is all the way in. Meaning this outside back belt should have an 1/8 of an inch gap between the two pulley halves. But I think now I've got all the belts, new belts, on the machine now. Now it's a matter of getting them adjusted up. Like the variable speed fan, I'm not going to worry about that till the combine's outside where I can roll it over. The same for the belt here for the variable speed header. I won't worry about that. Unloading auger I've got pretty well set. The separator drive belts I think are pretty well set. So it is just now the matter of getting these adjusted, the guard put back on, clutch cable put back in, and getting everything hooked back up and the wheel back on. But as I said before, on this machine, taking the belt or taking this outside tire off made the job a lot easier. For one simple fact, you can get into everything a lot simpler, a lot easier. I'm not telling anybody how to do it. I'm just saying this is the way I did it and why. So I am going to get back to work and start snugging this, taking this pulley back and start adjusting it. If I haven't said so, it is miserably hot and sticky in this building. It's a lot cooler outside today, but in here I'm sitting in front of a fan sweating like a hog. I'm telling you, whoo, it's hot in here. But being that I can turn this easily, well, that just tells you how loose it is. So we're going to get back at it and start adjusting. So we'll be back here in a minute, guys. Well, guys, I got the guard back on and all bolted up. I've adjusted the belts in to where I can crank the engine over. Whoops. Get you down where you can see me. Try this again. I've got the guard back on. The clutch is hooked back up. Throwout bearing is greased. The linkage on the clutch, all that has been anti-seized and greased and oiled. I've got these belts adjusted. There's play in them, but I need to roll the engine over in order to adjust them up. I don't need it running, I just need to crank it over and let the belts move into their place, you might say. But it's all the belts are on it. Things are somewhat adjusted back up. I still have a little bit of work to do up in the cab. One guard needs to be tightened up, and I got to do it from up there. And the top bump bolt on the hydraulic pump, bottom is snugged up tight, top is still loose, but it's on the shaft and it's, you know. But that pretty much concludes getting the belts put on this machine. The It will get a thoroughly good greasing. Now I know where a lot of these zerks are hiding at that I didn't know where they were at before. Just little things to be done now. Kind of in that, gotta go over and make sure on everything. And I can tell you one thing, I am so glad they took this little corner off of this and did not leave it like that. I've knocked my head on that thing so many times. Huh. Oh, honey hush. I've got lots of knots on my head from this thing. And this. And this. And this. And this. Yeah. As she stands right now, all the belts on this drive side are new except this one right here. It's not that old of a belt, so I left it in there. Plus the fact it's on the outside, and it's probably one of the easier belts to change. Meaning, all you have to do is change that belt, really. Pull that bolt out, take this bolt out. This will come off. You pull this down. Well, if you're real good, you can just pull this belt down, get it off one of the two pulleys, and then take it off. If you're good. So, that's not a real hard belt to change. The three down here are new. The one going up is new. All those drive belts are new. So, I feel I can afford to go with this belt. It's still soft. You can still put your finger into it. So it means it's not that old of a belt. But I've got all the belts are on now. All I've got to do is adjust a few of them up. And it's done. It's just in the, go over things, make sure the hydraulic tank is full, grease everything, make sure all the bolts are tight. Still got to hook the electric back up to this clutch. Just the drive belts. But for the most part, it's small stuff to do. Last big thing to do is put the tire back on. Like I say, if that tire was here, you know, clear back to here, it just is a whole lot more better, gooder, and easier to take that tire off to be able to do this. Some will argue with me. That's fine and dandy. Do it however you want. I just know it's a whole lot easier to do it with the tire off. My own personal preference. It's sitting on sitting on the final drive, on blocks. Jack is under it on the frame, on blocks, so it shouldn't be a big deal. At any rate, guys, I'm going to call it a day at this point. I've got a good bit done. I got my screw up from last night. putting the wrong belt in the wrong pulley and having to come up and take it all apart, put it back together again. But they're on now, and they're like they're supposed to be, and all the rest of the belts are in place. Tomorrow I'll come up and finish getting everything in the cab done so I can put the seat back in, and then it'll be under here hooking the electric to the clutch back up, getting all that kind of stuff done. I may crank it over a little bit with the wheel off. Shouldn't bother anything. And then probably just a little more on the belts. Then I'll probably put the tire back on. But first things first, let's get to tomorrow and see how things go. So it's supposed to rain anyway. It's supposed to rain this afternoon yet. So we'll see what happens. But today we've got pulley assembly put together the way it's supposed to be. Clutch cable is hooked back up. Everything under there greased and oiled. Guards back on it. All the belts are now on. So we're coming to the end of this little venture, you might say. So tomorrow we'll see what happens. But for now, guys, we'll see you next time. And as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. I hope all this work has been worth it. We'll see you next time, guys.